Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Lewis University's television network. Today is Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. I'm Allison Lankowitz.
And I'm Samara Martinez.
And we begin with our top national stories. An arrest has been made in the murder of a freshman basketball player at Salem State University. 18-year-old Misael Pena-Canela of Salem was arrested Wednesday night and charged with the murder of 18-year-old Carl Hens Belliard. Essex County District Attorney Paul Tucker cites the shooting happened before 1:30 a.m. at Forest Venue. Belliard was found with gunshot wounds in a car up on the sidewalk with bullet holes seen through the window. Belliard was rushed to Salem Hospital where he later died. Tucker cites the shooting isn't random and there is no threat to the Salem State community.
One of the former Memphis police officers charged in the beating death of Tyre Nichols intends to change his plea in the federal case against him. Desmond Mills previously entered a non-guilty plea. It's not known if the change is due to a plea agreement. Mills is one of the 5 former officers facing civil rights charges after 29-year-old Tyre Nichols was killed in January after he fled a traffic stop on foot. All 5 former officers have pleaded not guilty to the state charges in the case. Mills is slated to change his plea in federal court today officially.
A Cornell University student in Ithaca, New York, accused of anti-Semitic threats against Jewish students appeared in federal court Wednesday. 21-year-old Patrick Dye didn't enter a plea during a brief court appearance in Syracuse. Dye was arrested Tuesday after posting threats on social media. Those included a threat to shoot up a mainly kosher dining hall on campus. Dye was ordered to remain behind bars for the time being. If convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison.
A worker has died after a building collapsed at coal preparation plant in Martin County, Kentucky. 2 workers were taking machinery out of the 11-story building to prepare for its demolition when it collapsed Tuesday night. The workers got trapped under multiple floors of concrete and steel. The state's emergency management director said the remaining structure is very unstable and rescuers' lives are in danger. The governor declared a state of emergency early Wednesday morning, which mobilized state resources to help in the search.
A Tennessee judge is upholding the death sentence for the state's only woman on death row. Attorneys for Krista Pike filed an appeal in hopes of reducing her sentence. Their argument was based on another case that found juvenile offenders are constitutionally different than adults. However, Pike was 18 at the time of her crime. She confessed to first-degree murder in the 1995 killing of 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer. However, 2 accomplices, one 17 at the time and the other 18, were sentenced to life with the possibility of parole. Up next, we will have your local news.
We'll be right back. A Des Plaines man has been charged in an attempted kidnapping in Chicago's Bridgeport neighborhood Monday afternoon. 34-year-old Raymond Marshall has been charged with 1 count of armed robbery and 1 count of attempted kidnapping in the 3600 block of South Morgan Street. 3 suspects wearing masks and sunglasses approached a 35-year-old victim while he was unloading items in his garage and aimed a gun at his head, prosecutors said. The suspects then beat him, put restraints on him, and tried to force him into a vehicle. Residents alerted officers of a second suspect fleeing the scene in an SUV, but the suspect was unable to get around the police. Marshall will remain in custody as he awaits his next court appearance.
More than a dozen people were wounded in a shooting at a Halloween party in Chicago early Sunday morning. Authorities say a gunman fired into the crowd and then ran away. Officers quickly identified the alleged shooter and arrested 48-year-old William Groves nearby. The gunman has been charged with 15 counts of attempted murder. The victims include 6 women and 9 men between the ages of 26 and 53. 2 have critical injuries, and the shooting remains under investigation.
The man accused of killing a 6-year-old boy in an alleged anti-Muslim attack pleaded not guilty to all charges in an Illinois court Monday. Joseph Shuba faces charges of murder, attempted murder, aggravated battery, and a hate crime. Authorities say he stabbed Wadea Al-Fayoumi to death and seriously wounded his mother, Hanan Shaheen, earlier this month, allegedly because they were Muslims. The mother was renting 2 rooms in Shuba's Chicago area house where she lived on the first floor with her son. Joseph Shuba is being held without bond. His next hearing is scheduled for January 8th and faces a maximum of life in prison if convicted.
An Evanston man was charged with murder yesterday in connection to the beating death of a 53-year-old man earlier this year. 49-year-old Henry Graham is accused of beating 53-year-old Russell Long on June 29th while in the 600 block of North Michigan Avenue. According to officials, Long died shortly after the attack on July 12th from traumatic brain injuries. The medical examiner's office ruled his death a homicide. Graham was arrested Monday in the Little Village neighborhood and was charged with 1 count of murder.
A Glenview man is facing multiple felony charges following an elaborate grooming scheme. 42-year-old Weston Opus is behind bars as Cook County Police found a missing Massachusetts girl in his apartment. According to the county sheriff Thomas Dart, it all started when the 2 met on an online game last year. Opus continued to talk to the minor on an encrypted messaging platform called Telegram, and after grooming her, he flew to Boston and met her a couple of times. He also flew her to Chicago to meet him a few times. On October 26, a warrant led police inside the Glenview apartment where they found the girl and Opus in possession of a firearm, ammunition, and body armor. Opus is a convicted sex offender stemming from charges in a 2004 child pornography case out of the Orange County, Florida. When we return, we will have our entertainment news.
And later we will have your weather and sports update.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Elton John just sold his Atlanta condominium in one of the most expensive condo purchase deals in the city's history. The Wall Street Journal reports the roughly 13,500 square foot residence sold for $7.2 million just a few weeks after hitting the market. That was about 45% more than the nearly $5 million asking price. The Rocket Man singer used his Atlanta residence as his U.S. home base for decades. He listed the condo for sale in September after recently finishing his farewell tour. The listing agent wouldn't say who bought it, but said they are local and paid all cash.
Daytime Emmy-winning soap opera star Tyler Christopher has died at age 50. This is him back in 2004. His representative said he died Tuesday morning. Christopher's General Hospital co-star Maurice Bernard said on social media he died after suffering a cardiac event in his San Diego apartment. He said Christopher was an advocate for better mental health and substance use treatment, and openly talked about his struggles with bipolar depression and alcohol during his career. He was nominated for 5 Daytime Emmy Awards and won 2.
Actor Matthew Perry has died. Sources tell the Los Angeles Times Perry died of an apparent drowning at his Los Angeles home on Saturday afternoon. Perry was best known for his role as Chandler in the long-running sitcom Friends. The 54-year-old wrote a memoir last year that detailed his off-screen battle with alcohol and pills. A statement released from Warner Brothers called Perry a gifted actor and an indelible part of the Warner Brothers television group family. The statement went on to say Perry's comedic genius was felt around the world, and his legacy will live on in the hearts of many.
On Monday, a Los Angeles judge approved Lisa Presley's settlement for a long dispute between Lisa's mother, Priscilla Presley, and her eldest daughter, actress Riley Keough. Details in the agreement weren't made public. According to the previous court filings, Priscilla will receive a one-time payment of $1 million in exchange for her resignation as trustee of the fiduciary entity created by Lisa in 1993. The late singer's mother will also receive $100,000 annually. The $1 million payout will come from Lisa Marie's $25 million life insurance policy, which her 3 daughters and half-brothers are beneficiaries of.
The Kenergy is strong with this doll. Mattel has released a new Ken that is not just Ken. He is designed after Ryan Gosling's much-loved character in the Barbie movie. Ken is wearing the now legendary I Am Kenough sweatshirt, sweatpants, headband, and horse charm. Orders for the made-to-order item are for sale at MattelCreations.com. Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House isn't included. Up next, we will have your weather.
Then we will have your Lewis Sports Update. Stay with us.
And now for your weekly weather update. Although that snow was here on Halloween just a couple days ago, it will stay away for the rest of the week and moving into next. Today, Thursday, we saw some sunny skies, some blue skies out there with a high of 54 and a low of 42. But moving on into tomorrow, that sun will sadly stay away, but there will be a high of 56 and a low of 44. Moving on into the weekend though, Saturday and Sunday bring in the sun once again with a high of 56 and a low of 39 on Saturday and a high of 58 and a low of 50 on Sunday. The sun will stay moving on into the early week on Monday with a bit warmer temperature of 65-degree high on Monday with a low of 47. Then Tuesday, still sunny, holding on strong with a high of 56 and a low of 47. But sadly, we'll kiss the sun goodbye on Wednesday as we'll see some showers with a high of 54. And stay tuned now for your sports update.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
The Lewis women's soccer team honored all of their seniors this past Friday, although they ended their regular season with a disappointing loss to Quincy 1-0. 8 seniors were honored, including Emily Villasenor, Becca Nelson, Jordan Bygos, Grace Davukes, Olivia Zadiker, Brooke Harris, and Christina Mondelli. Lewis honors these athletes for their hard work and dedication for the years they've played on the team. The game consisted of missed shots from the Flyers for the first half. The second half continued with shots on goal but blocked. Quincy was able to find the back of the net and win. The women's earned the number 4 seed in the GLVC tournament and will host the quarterfinals against number 5 seed Missouri St. Louis on Sunday, November 5th.
It was a clean sweep for Lewis women's volleyball this past Tuesday as the Flyers defeated St. Francis 28-26, 25-11, and 25-18. Offensive leaders for the women included Bella Ray with 12 kills, Avery Hollibar with 9 kills, and Madison Schroba with 9 kills. Leading the Flyers defensively was senior libero Allie Hickey with 16 digs. The Flyers will host their final game of the season this Saturday against Truman State at 6 p.m. The team will celebrate its 5 graduating seniors before the match.
The Lewis men's soccer team also recognized their 4 seniors, Pablo Ruda, Yoram Borgers, Justin Darlidge, and Jesus Meza. Again, the men's team came out hot in the 6th minute, taking 2 shots that were saved. Moments later, junior Godwin Asor scored. Lewis attacked again, and Arturas Goronikis found the back of the net, closing the first half with a Lewis 3-0 lead. The second half, Yoram Borgers scored a penalty, giving Lewis the lead 4-0. Quincy then responded fiercely, scoring 2 goals back-to-back, although Lewis was able to close out the game with a victory over Quincy 4-2. The Lewis men's soccer will begin the GLVC tournament at home as the number 2 seed, hosting Rockhurst, the number 7 seed, this Sunday, November 5th.
Lewis men's basketball is predicted to finish 10th in the GLVC standings this season. The Flyers received 63 total points out of the 14 schools. Offensive leaders for the Flyers last season, Bo Frericks and Jameer Hill, will return again this 2023 to 2024 season. Frericks, a second-team All-GLVC honoree last year, averaged 15.3 points per game, while Hill, a 6'2" junior, averaged 11.8 points per game. The men will begin their season on the road Friday, November 10th against Ohio Dominican.
The Lewis women's basketball team was crowned to win the GLVC conference in the preseason coaches poll. The poll is selected by the league's head coaches who, by law, cannot vote for their own team. The Flyers had 8 first-place votes and a total of 164 points from the preseason poll. Stay tuned as the women's basketball season will begin soon. And that's it for today's news. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University's television network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Samir Martinez.
And I'm Allison Linkwitz. Have a great night.